The sun hovered over Stockton, California, casting a blinding gleam off the concrete that made the whole world feel like it was wrapped in tinfoil. It was one of those Saturdays where the heat clung to your skin and the sounds of summer basketballs bouncing, kids laughing, sneakers squeaking on blacktop echoed through the neighborhood park. 12-year-old Elijah Carter wasn't doing anything unusual. He had spent the better part of the afternoon hanging out with his best friend, Tyson, sharing a pack of gummy bears and trying to beat level 10 of some mobile game they were both obsessed with. Now, he was walking home, his little backpack bouncing softly against his shoulder, his mind half occupied with the memory of Tyson's terrible three-pointer and the rest of it focused on how many weeks of allowance it would take to buy the new video game he'd been eyeing. Elijah wasn't the kind of kid that drew attention. He didn't talk loud, didn't act up. He kept to himself, stuck to the sidewalk, and moved through the world like his dad had taught him. Head up, shoulders back, and always walk like you belong. And Elijah believed he did, right up until the police cruiser slowed beside him. The tires crunched against the gravel as it pulled to a stop. "Hey, you," called a voice from the driver's side, window too casual to be kind. Elijah turned to find Officer Brandon Kellerman looking at him the way someone might eye a gum wrapper on their shoe. The cop's sunglasses hung low on his nose, his lip curled into something that looked like half a smirk. "What are you up to?" Kellerman asked. Elijah froze not because he'd done anything wrong, but because he'd been taught what to do in moments like this. His father, Marcus Carter, had drilled it into him since he was old enough to memorize a phone number. "Stay calm. Be polite. Hands where they can see them." "I'm just walking home, sir," Elijah said, forcing a polite smile even though his stomach had knotted tight. "From the park?" "Yes, sir." "You got ID?" Elijah hesitated. He didn't know a single kid who carried ID to the park. "No, sir. I live right down the block, though. My dad's home if you need." Kellerman stepped out of the car. His hand hovered near his belt. "What's your dad do, huh?" he asked. Elijah hesitated only for a second before answering, pride sneaking into his voice despite the growing tension in his chest. "He's in Special Forces," he said, low but clear. "Army." And just like that, the cop laughed loud and hard enough that two girls walking by turned to look. It wasn't a friendly laugh. It was mocking. "Special Forces?" Kellerman repeated, like Elijah had said his dad was a superhero. "Kid, you watch too many movies." Elijah clenched his jaw. He could see it in Kellerman's face, already he wasn't interested in the truth. No explanation would matter. No story about the medals in the hallway, or the months-long deployments, or the time his dad taught him how to stay calm under pressure. The man had made up his mind the second he saw him. Kellerman stepped closer, looming now, a predator circling its prey. "What's next, kid? Gonna tell me your mom's a Navy SEAL too?" Elijah swallowed hard, his fists balled in his pockets. "Where's this Special Forces dad of yours now?" Kellerman asked, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "At home," Elijah muttered, not daring to raise his eyes. "Just a few blocks over." Kellerman turned to his partner, Officer Jason DeWitt, who had stayed leaned against the cruiser, arms crossed, watching in silence. "You hear that, DeWitt? We got ourselves a little GI. Joe." DeWitt gave a dry half-smile but didn't laugh. Elijah's fingers curled around the phone in his pocket, and before he could second-guess himself, he pulled it out. His hands trembled just a little. "I can call him," he said, steadying his voice. "He'll come." Kellerman snorted. "Yeah, sure. Let's meet this superhero dad." As Elijah tried to unlock the phone, his sweaty hand slipped. The phone hit the sidewalk face first, the screen cracking with a loud snap that sounded too much like something breaking inside him. He bent down slowly, picked it up carefully, like it was something sacred. Despite the damage, the screen still lit up. He tapped his father's name. It rang twice. "Elijah," came a voice. Calm, steady, familiar. "You good, son?" "I'm at the park," Elijah said quickly, voice cracking. "They don't want to talk to you." He glanced up. Kellerman was still smirking. "Oh, we're doing this." Kellerman laughed. "All right, let's meet the legend." Elijah held out the phone. Kellerman didn't take it. He waved it off, then turned his back like it was all a joke. "Tell him yourself when he gets here," he said. Elijah stood there, phone still pressed to his ear. "I'm coming," Marcus Carter said. "Don't move." Elijah didn't. Couldn't. Minutes passed like hours. Kellerman leaned against the cruiser, chatting idly with DeWitt like there wasn't a 12-year-old standing 20 feet away trying to hold himself together. "Kid probably doesn't even have a dad," Kellerman muttered. But then the air shifted. There was no screech of tires, no dramatic entrance. Just a quiet hum and the subtle arrival of a black Ford Explorer. The vehicle rolled to a stop with practiced precision. The door opened, and out stepped a man who made the world feel smaller just by being in it. Marcus Carter didn't wear a uniform. He didn't need one. A simple black t-shirt, jeans, and a posture that spoke of years in places most men wouldn't survive. He didn't walk fast. He didn't walk slow. He moved with purpose, every step silent but firm. DeWitt straightened immediately. Brandon," he said. Kellerman turned lazily, then froze. Marcus Carter locked eyes with him. No fury, no yelling, just stillness. "Is there a reason my son's being detained?" he asked, voice level. Kellerman cleared his throat. "Sir, we got a call about suspicious activity, just a routine check." Marcus didn't blink. "You got a call about a 12-year-old walking home from the park." The silence that followed said everything. "Name?" Marcus asked. Kellerman hesitated. "Officer Brandon Kellerman. Stockton PD." Marcus nodded once. "Calm. Controlled." "Well, Officer Kellerman, you're about 2 minutes from a very different kind of conversation." "Sir, there's no need for threats." "I'm not threatening you," Marcus interrupted. "I'm educating you." And then he pulled out his wallet. Inside wasn't a driver's license. Wasn't a credit card. It was an identification badge. Small. Laminate. Heavy. Master Sergeant Marcus Carter. United States Army. Special Forces. Clearance. Classified. DeWitt paled. "You don't get to make my son feel like a criminal," Marcus said quietly. "Not for telling the truth. Not because your ego needs something to feed on." Kellerman opened his mouth, then closed it again. For once, there were no jokes. Marcus extended a hand toward Elijah. "Come here, son." Elijah ran to him. No hesitation. Marcus rested a steady hand on his son's shoulder. "I suggest you get better at telling real threats from the ones you imagine," Marcus said to Kellerman, before guiding Elijah back to the Explorer. But Kellerman wasn't done. "You know, not everyone's impressed by a uniform," he called after them. Marcus paused, didn't turn. "You think this is about uniforms?" he said. "It's about a grown man thinking it's funny to humiliate a child for telling the truth." He turned back slightly, just enough for his face to be seen. "My son's 12. He knows what respect looks like, and he knows when it's missing." DeWitt, to his credit, finally spoke. "Brandon," he said gently, "let it go." It wasn't a suggestion. Marcus opened the door for Elijah. They got in. No dramatiques. No parting shots. Just a quiet departure. The drive home was silent at first. "You did everything right," Marcus said eventually. "Didn't feel like it," Elijah mumbled. "That's because doing right doesn't always change how wrong others act." Elijah nodded. "There will always be people who doubt you, who laugh at you, who try to make you feel small," Marcus continued. "But you don't shrink for them. You don't lie. You don't hide. You stand." And Elijah did. From that day forward, Officer Brandon Kellerman didn't. By Monday morning, the video of the incident captured by 2 witnesses circulated online. It made its way to the captain's desk at Stockton PD. An official complaint was filed. Kellerman was suspended pending review. DeWitt got a written reprimand. And Elijah? He sat with his father that night over ice cream, quiet but lighter. "You don't have to shout to be heard," Marcus told him. "Sometimes just standing your ground is enough." And Elijah knew that was true, because he'd seen it with his own 2 eyes.